Alright, here's the next retarded speech to text reading from the Gospels. Therefore I say unto you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather in barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Which of you, by worrying, can add 1 cubit to your stature? So why do you worry about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin nor become anxious. And yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these lilies. Now if God so clothes the grass in the field, which today is and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For all of these things the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. That reads as new paragraph. UDX retarded speech to text reading from the Gospels. Therefore I say unto you, you do not worry about your life when he won the role of more than a normal volume of you. Is not like one of whom are more than cloning will become part of the funding is so now we know Tenenbaum. See her heavenly Father fees. Are you now have more value than they, which if you buy one, and one key to the statute, so why do you worry about? Consider the lives of the feel of a groove in your homes and will become anxious and sat in that even some of whom are on the recall. These movies have done so close that grass field which today using 2 miles from the oven will you know how much more quote you own you move the therefore do not worrisome was some questions range from watching all these things that intensive amendment knows one knows, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you, and therefore do not worry about small smile, more than sufficient for the game has its own, for that we does. UBS retirement speech to text meeting from the Gospels therefore is saying to you, you do not worry about your life when he won the role more than normal volume of you is not like one of whom are more than cloning will become part of the funding is so now we know Tannenbaum Seaver and other fees are you now have more value than they've reached if you buy one and one key to the statute. So why do you worry about consider the lives of the feel of a groove in your home soon will become anxious and said that even some of whom are on the recall these movies have done so close that Grassfield which today using 2 miles from the oven will know how much more will you own you move the therefore do not worrisome was some questions range from watching all the stains that intensive amendment no one no seat for sticking with guns righteousness and all these things and that it's you and therefore do not worry about small smile more than sufficient for the game has a home for that we does UBS retirement speech to text and from the Gospels therefore saying soon you do not worry about your life when you want no more than normal volume of use not like one of whom are more than cloning will become part of the funding is so now we know 10 inbound C Burr and other fees are you now have more value than they've reached if you find one and one key to the statute. So why do you worry about consider the lives of the feel of a groove in your home soon will become anxious and say that even some of whom are on the recall of these movies have come so close that grass field Mr. They using 2 miles from oven will know how much more will you alone you move there therefore do not worry some was some questions range from watching all the stains that intensive amendment no one no fee for sticking with guns righteousness and all these things and that it's you and therefore do not worry about small smile more than sufficient for the game as a home for that we funding is so now we know 10 inbound C Burr and other fees are now have more value than they've reached if you find one and one key to the statute. So why don't you worry about the civilized of the feel of a groove in your home soon will become anxious and saving move, some of whom are on the recall of these movies have come so close that the grass field Mr. Van Nuys and 2 miles of them will know much more mom move their valve. Therefore do not worrisome was some questions range from watching all those things that intensive in mime and no one. New paragraph. Why do you worry about the civilized of the feel of a groove in your home? Soon will become anxious and saving moves, some of whom are on the recall of these movies have come so close that grass field Mr. Van Nuys and 2 miles of them will know how much more mom move their valve. Therefore do not be worrisome with some questions that were ranged from watching all those things that intensive in mime and no one no fee for sticking with guns were just as all if all these things and then it's you and therefore not worry about small smile more than sufficient for the game as a home for the funding is so now we know 10 inbound C and other fees are now have more value than they've reached the final one and one key to the stage of the ones you worry about the civilized field of room in your home soon will become anxious and saving move, some of whom we call these and some of the holes that grass field Mr. Van Nuys and 2 miles of them now much more mom move their mail. Therefore do not worry some with some questions range from watching all those things that intensity in mine and no. New paragraph. Why do you worry about the civilizing move of room in your home? Soon will become anxious and saving move, some of whom are on the recall as movies, having come so close that Grassfield, Mr. Van Nuys, and 2 miles of them know how much more mom moved their mail, therefore cannot be worrisome with some questions that will range from watching all these things that intensive in mind and no one no fee for sticking with guns were just as all in all these things and then it's you, and therefore not worry about small smile more than sufficient for the game as a home. For the funding is so now, we know £10 C and other fees are now have more value than they've reached the final one, and one key to the state of the ones who are civilized to run the new homes, and will become anxious and saving some of whom we call these, and some of the holes that grass field Mr. Van Nuys, and some of them now much more mom their mail, their fortune of worries some was some questions range from watching all those things that intensity in mime and now. New paragraph.
He should have like asked people before he did it, but he's like, it's easier to say I'm sorry than it is to ask permission. So
I just read that phrase the other day.
It's easier to say I'm sorry than it is to ask permission. Yeah. That's interesting.
They're on to a roof here.
unless you work at the Hyatt.
Bring your team spirit to the table.
Customer service.
So what happened with the radio children?
I guess no one
Don't
wants to
mind.
go.
I don't have any personality today. I just have to take care of the dog.
I look so gross today, I don't even want to be on the radio.
I'm too gross for radio. Sweating out sharp to bust.
I'm too gross for radio.
God forbid Dad finds out he has cancer. What did you say? Yeah.
What's all this intrigue?
It's just messing up to get all the permission for everything. Say
157, I must be going to heaven. It's 157, I'm still going to heaven. 157, I'm still going to heaven. 157, am I still going to heaven? 157, am I still going to heaven? 157, am I still going to heaven? Attention human beings on the dark side of the planet Earth. We are intuitively speaking to each one of you non-verbally in your mind, but as you look at each other wherever you are on the nighttime side, and as the Earth travels on its axis westward, coming in towards sunset and the nighttime, you will begin to hear on the tip of South America. This will be breaking news in a matter of moments on the daytime side of the Earth, the biggest story of all time. Which is why we're sending you advanced things that there's no way you could possibly understand, but you feel good and you feel fearless right now. You're filled with an overwhelming, but not overbearing sense of kind of blissful. The strawberry celestial craft is coming in behind the moon, coming in behind Venus and Jupiter. It's above the plane of the Earth so that it's clearly being lit by the rays of the sun. And if you look towards the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter, you should see it. This intuitive internal voice that you hear, fucking who knows, man, it could be like Project Bluebeam, but you feel really good, don't you? Like, yeah, well, so will a fucking Iraqi being fucking waterboarded after he's given comfort, pussy, the Quran, and like ecstasy-laden orange juice that's like from the top chemists that know how to make the groovy stuff. You'd think that a strawberry fucking celestial craft that is now visible in the nighttime sky, positioning itself while it talks to everyone on the dark side of the planet on an intuitive, non-audible, inner level. In 36 seconds, there will be 7 minutes remaining until we illuminate the entire dark side of the planet with a blazing light that is brighter than supernova light, but will not harm the eyes. For those more attentive, and we can't believe, because we have YouTube and we have your World Wide Web on the strawberry UFO that can exhibit, look, non-ballistic motion. We can't believe in the last 42 hours, when we suspended the Doppler effect, that we haven't had a video or a report anywhere. And we're pretty intelligent people, as you can plainly see as we approach. We have a way of super thinking in a way that only your people acquainted with the concept of the singularity can understand. Super thinking, super fast thinking, millions of eons thought. So we've seen everything, all the accumulated output of everything on your planet in the 42 hours since we suspended the Doppler effect to see if anyone would react, and none of you did. There were 42 people that noticed. One person in the 42 hours that trains would go by, planes would go by. It could have been the amped up, like, 11th hour last ditch attempt by what you call the Illuminati, the wicked ones mentioned in the Iroquois Confederate Constitution.
The what again?
Hi, I'm Keith Donkey Man, and I'm here with Rochester, New York's premier rock and roll sextet, the Cheetah Horse. Say hi, Cheetah Horse.
Hi, Cheetah Horse.
What's your name?
Cheetah Horse.
What's your name and what do you play?
I play guitar.
Now, you there with the red scarf, what's your name and what do you play?
I'm Lizzie and I play the skin flute and I sing.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. This is Keith Donkey Man. What's your name and what do you do in the Cheetah Horse?
Tyler Jones, I play guitar and also indulge in the skin flute from time to time.
I gotta tell you, Heather, I suck a mean skin flute too. As this bra obviously shows you. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is
That's Jonelle Pitts.
and I play the didgeridoo.
And the drums, viewers. Last but not least.
I can't hear that.
Who are you?
Shut the fuck up.
Who are you?
Oh crap. Hi, I'm Gary D. Archer, and I play the bass for the Cheetah Horse. And I also want to know, have you ever seen anybody do the moonwalk forward? This is Dazzle. The moonwalk forward.
Really funny because even before Andy approached JJ and I knew JJ at all, we always talked about, man, we just want that guy to be like our poster.
Ribbit. Speech to text. Speech to text gone crazy video number probably 7 or 8. The ultimate of costumes by the lightsaber wielded in World War III. Okay, and that now that we go and read the 5 nations, considering the boards I have seen great these roots read from the 3 great these great when groups and nature of pieces ranging from top city long of reason ago, was able to see from a flaw in the season that it is that any evil approaching you want American won the people of the Confederacy approaching the major third increase in speed of the way he moves in Cincinnati, and all will pitch over at major are being sharp O-marks around becomes more money and some sense there is a massive generator, and that's the most glaring serendipitous 8 shots last B flat wrong all said and because it is named after the flocking. Ball Betty White rat sweet tarts that are rate of the automatic mother to recent array of pop charts in Cuba you to meet 2 straight up to the top already holds the sock hop tunes Betty White. All will pitch over, major are being sharp marks around becomes more money in some sense there is a massive generator and that's the most glaring serendipitous 8 shots left the flat wrong also and became because it is named after the fucking involving white rat sweethearts than our rate of the automatic Mother Teresa parade of pop charts in Cuba. You took me to straight up to the top already holds the Savatunes Betty White row after we talked parade of the automatic Mother Teresa parade of Pop Tarts in Cuba. Won't have enough of a family that knows self created all in that event of an element. Won't have enough of a family that knows self created all in that event. Held that one room last year to have the edge of town. And I'm not be known by all expansive condom of cognitively impaired up to, not to mention existential, and the TV on the Edmonds welcomes comments below my folks' home school. For the mystery scale, then the experience or system of ineffable and non verbally sell, and as the ultimate outcome of the mobile home, and sit on women who are now one result of you start a whole system in earnest. Smith's Simpson quell them by all we ask him by a man and not a domain name, and the focus now spellbound all last cell OOSL to Junga and gaze down the Manhattan Bridge Jarvis Falk, although Susanna Mountains that Jarvis all of this as an amount that job of all of this is a myopic job of all is an amount of the job of the all rights of the rights of the division over and over the thing is a viable for all the money is NA. The focus now spellbound. Now that is the text that was translated from speech that I read about an hour and a half ago. Here's how the speech to text interpreted me reading that. Imagine if you're feeling that you're sending a mile mark C in the holiday year 2017. In the week preceding the first total solar eclipse visible, well, the mainland continental markets and cents, injured human and a longtime friend system, and that's how you met, for you tighten its control and loan from a wee herman's old home, and want to be confused with a crucified. It's things that you internally currents, well, it's all there to the mall ball tell you where 10 digs in and he's an athlete means, and in small cheered by 27 things they can move Simmons around when the filling period. And while it's in Volume 3, an overnight in school and the highest order of Mark Twain's arm and sometimes hang, in and still live signal that the system calls he's meeting a friend who goes by the given name Schools Tries School, who made them a way links environment thinking matter and consciousness impact human nature of the needs alone. Sparkle a stone wall, Graham will and will add to this means for June own home from the ball just in time to mature love story of mayors from 2011 to 1218. Now, where I saw the image that the field and that is sending a mile mark C in the holiday 2017 in the week preceding the first home for clothes as the ball from Wyoming and Continental Market and science injures human and a longtime friend system and its home that form control and loan from Herman's Hermit's old home and wants to use the mystified it's things that you family rooms won't solve their too small ball homework and the scene and he's an athlete means speech to text of a speech to text on crazy video number are probably send a the ultimate of costumes by the way Cybele movement and World War III, okay, and that now that we can all the 5 nations considering the boards I have seen rain these who read from the rain erased rate loan from nature of pieces ranging off city mall reasonable was able to see from a flaw in the season that you use N.E. Paul Robeson, you wants American 1 that People Confederacy approaching the major third increase in speed of Kuwait Hall moves few moves in Cincinnati and all will pitch over at major Ben Sharpo marks around becomes more money and some sense there is a massive generator and that's the most glaring serendipitous 8 shots last a firewall Malf. Second, because it's named after the fucking ball Betty White rat sweet tarts error rate of mom a mother to use an array of pop charts and shinbone you tune to straight up to the top glory hold the stock options and warrants all will pitch over major are being sharp o marks around the columns more money in some sense there's a massive generator and that's the most glaring send his HR lot of flack from OSL and became because it is named after the fucking involving white rats we part down rate of the automatic mother to recent rate of pop charts and she moved to two straight off the top already holds the so and white row after the Talk Radio Man March and is rated R. Feeble won't have enough of family, and also reviewed all that in event of an element won't have enough of a family, and also created all the events held that one room last year to have the edge of town, and I'm not be known by all expenses Malf of making the pair of two, not to mention existential, and the TV on the Edmonds welcomes comments below my faults as homeschool for the mystery scale and the experience or system of an affable and non-verbally cell as the ultimate outcome of the mobile home and sit on women and were now involved all used our whole system in earnestness Simpson quo and by all we ask him by a man and not as a main and the focus now spellbound all mass cell all OSL to jungle and gaze Manhattan Ridge Jarvis all calls Susanna Mountains that's Java all of this as an amount was trans that job all home this is a myopic Java qualities and in Malfa the job of the all rights of the rights of vision over and over the thing is a viable for all the money is an add the focus enough of a now that is the text that was translated from speech and drama about an hour at all years hall D speech to text interpreted me you reading that if imagine if your feeling that was sending a mile mark C and the holiday year 20/7 and in the week preceding the first hole for a quote in the ball while the mainland continental market sends injured human and a long-time foreign system and that's how you met from form tighten its control and loan from wee Herman's old home in want to be confused with a crucified its things and overnight in school and the highest form of Mark Twain's arm and sometimes hang you can still live signal that the system calls and Malf finds goes by that given name schools try school mage M only makes environment thinking man and consciousness impacts human nature in the zone sparkles Stonewall Karam won't move into this means from Shimon home from all just in time to mature love story of mayors from 2011 to 1218 now where I saw movements that the field and that is sending and loan from Herman's old home and wants to use the mystified its things that you family homes will fall victim small ball homer in the scene and he's an athlete and speech to text of the speech to text on review video number of problems send EV of menopause and bond with a by the wayside bowl movement and well worth 30 a.m. that now that we can haul the five nations considering the board 5C rain these who read from the rain increase wind speed of Kuwait homes few moves in Cincinnati and all will pitch over at Major Ben Sharp falls marks around becomes more money in some sense there's a massive generator and that's the most glaring serendipitous 8 shots last the firewall Malf second becomes an index of the fucking ball by the white rat sweet tarts error rate of mom on whether to use an array of pop charts and shinbone tune to string up to the top glory hole stock options and wants all will pitch over major being sharp fall marks around the columns more money in some senses a massive generator and that's the most glaring send is the charm of the flack from OSL the Talk Radio Man March and is rated R feeble won't have an awful family and also reviewed all that nonsense of an element won't have enough of a family and also create all the events of that one woman sued have the edge of town on now be known by all expenses Malf of making repairs to not to mention existential in the TV on the Edmonds welcomes comments below my fault his homeschool for them is to stay on the experiences system of an affable and non-verbally some Malf as the ultimate outcome of the mobile home and sit on women and we're now involved all use our whole system in earnestness Simpson wall and by all we ask him by a man and of an affable and non-verbally Malf not as the main men in the focus now spellbound all mass cell OSL to jumble is Manhattan Ridge Jarvis all calls is an amount since Java all of this is an amount of strands that job all homes and myopic Java qualities about an hour at all views Hall D speech to text interviewed me you that if an edge and if you're feeling that was sending a mile mark C and the holiday year 257 In the week preceding the first hole for a quote in the home of the mainland continental market, something that human and longtime foreign system in that home, that final form tighten its control and loan from the Hermits old home, in want to be confused with a crucified its stings in overnight in school in the highest form of Mark Twain's arms, and sometimes hang, you can still live signal that the system calls and Mulf finds goes by that even named schools try to Mage M only makes environment, thinking man and consciousness impact and nature in the zones our whole Stonewall Koran won't move into this means from Shimon home from all just in time to mature love story of mayors from 2011 to 12 weeks and now where I saw movements that the field and that is sending it and lone humble Hermits old home and wants to use the mystified its things that you family homes will fall victim small bottle hammered and CME, then half the ends of each to text of the speech to text Homer video number of problems in the oven of homes in Bonn, without by the wayside old movement, and well worth of 30 a.m. that now that we can all five nations visitor and abort 5C rain season meet from the rain priest and speed of courtly homes view moves in Cincinnati, Ohio over major venture called marks around become more money and from some charts in Shinbone tuned to string up to the top glory hole stock options and wants all will pitch over major ben sharp fall marks around the town or money in some senses a massive generator and as the ball lands end of the charm of the flack from OSL that talk radio man March and his R-rated feeble won't have an awful thing we can also reviewed all that nonsense of an element will have another family and also create all the events of that one woman sued have the edge of town on now be known by all expenses Malf of making repairs and not to mention existential and TV on the Edmonds welcomes comments below my fault is homeschool for the then stayed on the expenses system of an affable and non-verbally some Malf as the ultimate outcome of the mobile home and sit on women now involve all our whole system in earnest last Simpson wall and by all we ask him by a man and a passable that night as the main man in the focus now spellbound all mass salvo assaulted jumble of his Manhattan Ridge Jarvis all calls is an amount since Jamal this is an amount of preceding the first hole for quo in the home of the main man continental market, something that human and long-time foreign system, and that is home, that final form tighten its control on loan from the Hermits own home, in want to be confused with a crucified it stings in overnight in school, and the highest form of Mark Twain's arms, and sometimes hang use can still lives in all that system calls in Mulf 5 goals by that name schools fight two major M home makes environments taking many consciousness impact and nature in the zones our whole Stonewall women will move into this means from Shimon home from home just in time to mature love story of mayors from 2011 to 12 weeks and now where I saw movements
Get the songs ready.
Yeah, I got the songs queued up. We're doing 7 and 9. Track 7 and 9.
Here he comes again and dive bar demigod.
Gotcha. Get those queued up. Rock and roll.
Here He Comes Again is good. It's bluesy. It's got a little Lou Reed-ish feeling.
There's a Cars song called Here She Comes Again.
What?
There's a Cars tune called Here
No.
She Comes Again. Okay, what?
We have 52 seconds.
Paul said we sound, Paul Murphy said we sound like the girl underground.
I don't hear that, but thanks.
Yeah. All right.
All right, okay.
I'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take whatever we can get.
Cool. 30 seconds. Here we go. Have fun, everybody.
Take it from here.
90.9 The Buzz, Sunday Night Shakedown, stolen bikes away from me, sports, side effect of talks.
I see a waterfall of $1,000,000 bills, but just to get there, have to take each colored pill. If you like the blue lights, evergreen, and I will. I see a waterfall of $1,000,000 bills. Chicago, Gandhi, Texas, ashes into ash. In my mind's eye, I've seen the helicopter crash. Accident, or so it seems, but it came in a flash. Chicago, Gandhi, Texas, ashes into ash. Broken silver cords from the road of spirit Would you like to hear a tale of how the eagle stole the world and built itself into a science and a blur? Addicted you and so afraid, ever leaving your race. Would you like to hear a tale of how the eagle stole the world? Broken silver cords from the road of spirit It's near the end, there's almost nothing you can do. Have you ever wondered when our garbage is going through? I wonder how long it will be till evergreen is ever gone. It's near the end, there's almost nothing
Fest.
I'm looking forward to listening to him. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I saw him about 2 years ago with the Police. It was he's rocking, dude.
He is, and he's so righteous. He has a new album out too. I've heard some tracks off of his new album, and it's excellent.
Well, what's he doing?
He's got a new album out. He's been touring Europe, but he's, like you said, he's coming.
Is
over
this
to-
with the orchestra? With the Bell Orchestra or something it's called?
I'm not sure. They might be on some of the tracks. I haven't listened to the entire album, but it's possible that they're on there. From what I've heard, it's not with a full-out orchestra, but it's good. It's definitely good music.
Mrs. Scanato started off that set, Ordinary Girl, and of course now I'm very excited because we have the Horrors. Cheetah Horrors are here in the studio. What's going on, guys? Get on the bus with the Cheetah Horrors. You guys are going to New York City to play a show at the Trash Bar?
Yes, we are. The Trash Bar show will be on January 29th. It starts at 8 p.m.
But you're not going to count on the New York douchebag to get on the bus or get on the subway to come see. You're bringing your own audience with you.
Yes, we are. We
That's
are
the way to
bringing
do
a
it.
charter bus down there, which leaves Friday morning.
How big is the charter bus?
The charter bus fits around 40 people, and
Get
we
on
still
the
have
bus.
some.
Get on the
We
bus.
still have some seats.
Leaving from Cornhill at 8 a.m. Friday morning and returning Sunday evening.
Forever.
We still have seats available. We'd like to round up more people to go. It's $200 and it includes a ride to and fro New York City, to and fro the show, and 2 nights of accommodation in a nice hotel room in Manhattan.
In Soho, at the Soho Hotel. I figured that would be good for the
Nice.
Cheetah host.
The Cheetah Horrors.
Right.
So,
They're
I mean,
freaking not in love, man. That's what's happening.
we have drinks on the bus too?
There
Yeah,
will
it's
be
like a party
copious
bus, a charter
amounts
bus.
of
It's
everything
pretty
on
much
that
like
bus.
a limousine
You know,
bus ride. So
I-
we're looking
It's
for a
DVD players in every seat.
I love you guys. You're one of my favorite bands, but honestly, I think there's a good chance you guys may not make it.
Yeah, we may not make
We're
it
gonna
home.
make it.
You may not make it past.
Questionable.
You may not make it past.
That's why
Binghamton.
we're getting a professional bus driver, professional bus.
Well,
Save
he'll
me a
make
seat
it.
on this bus.
We're bringing a few
on the
handlers
bus,
with us
please.
to,
Yeah.
take care of some of us loose
One
cannons.
baby for you.
I definitely
We
want to
just
see
need
on this
34
bus.
babysitters with us.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers, girls.
Who's the loosest cannon?
Well,
Whose cannon is
Depends on what day of the week.
It's gotta be
It's
Meg.
definitely not Meg or Therese.
It's totally Meg.
Meg
at
is
home
crazy.
with
Don't let
one
her
hand
fool ya.
My God. So guys, last time we talked, because you're all in the hubbub over Sharktopus and the success with that and be on TV and whatnot. What's happened since that?
Well, we do have another movie perhaps in the works. Can't talk about it yet.
Don't jinx it.
We're not gonna jinx it.
And we have
It's an
a
okay.
write-up in Germany, and we have fans in Denmark, and yeah.
In North
you
Carolina.
North Carolina. Jinx ourselves, man. It's
I'm
called
huge in
Titus
Alabama.
Avenue to Cannon.
know.
We are going to be doing a little spring tour of New England, and
Very cool.
that should be fun.
But-
We'll have more
but
information. We
talk a
always
li-
update on the website.
Talk a
so.
little bit more about the movie if you can. I mean, is it
Mhm.
something through your uncle again, perhaps, or
Yeah.
that's great.
So yeah.
Is it a story of a band that gets on a bus and then never returns?
Goes out
Yeah.
to mystical wonderland.
It's
Elephantitis.
probably going to be along the
Avenue.
same lines of,
I saw on Facebook that there's some dude somewhere, not anybody who's related to us or friends of ours or anything, some dude somewhere who listened to Sharktopus online or listened to your song and he loved it so much he learned it and recorded himself a video learning it and played it
Yeah.
on Facebook. So
How does
that's
that
a
feel?
testament to
How
how
does that
well they
feel?
love you.
That was pretty touching. Actually, Heather and I filmed 3 thank you videos for him.
Nice.
We have yet to post it, but when we do, you'll see it.
Yeah,
Nice.
he did
Let's-
Shanana too.
He's
Let's
from
spend some
Boston.
Let's spend some Cheetah Horse right now. We're talking about the Cheetah Horse, so anybody that's living under a rock doesn't know what they're all about. Let's listen to Here He Comes Again on the Sunday Night Shakedown.
we won't mention any more about it, Trace.
Totally.
Didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to get some music out.
That was cool. Was I alright? Was I over?
That's fine. No, this is great.
Did we say that people can go on the webpage about the,
We'll
You
reiterate it.
You with the $10 words. You reiterate.
does that.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to say it again. And if you want to get on the bus with the Cheetah Horse and go down to New York City for the gig next week, give me the details again.
Well, you need to go to cheetahhorse.com, and you can actually pay for the bus online right there, or give us a call through our contact number, and we'll put you on the bus. We just need to know your info and
it's
bring some cash.
What does it include? How much is it, and what does it include again?
$200. It's going to include your ride down there,
And your ride back,
and to and from the show. But you don't have to go to the show. We'd like you to. It also includes 2 nights at the Soho Hotel in Soho.
That's great.
That's a clever name for a hotel in Soho. I gotta
Right.
give props for that.
Any shows coming up here in Rochester?
We don't have anything booked right now.
That's probably smart
will.
in case you don't make it back.
Yeah, we're totally gonna make it back. We actually want to. I think we're gonna start working on things for CD2.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You got stuff written or?
Yeah.
We do have stuff written. Yes.
Frank,
Well, tell me about it.
should we call it Hor Amore,
Yeah.
Volcano, or Girl, we couldn't get much groovier?
That's the first one, I think.
Hor Amore?
That's pretty much the look we're going for. Yeah.
So tell me what the songs like.
Well, we have skeletal versions of songs. Liz has a few songs that we've touched on.
Sing the elf song.
I've got a disco dance tune that I'd like to put on the CD, something that the kids can dance to in the clubs, like down at Tilt or something.
Like, I like the dolphins as much as you do.
It's called Sugar Elf. I really want us to do She Bop in Spanish. I think that'll take our career to the
Cindy
next
Lauper
level.
song?
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
I still have to learn Spanish.
Didn't you have a vision like
Just
John
think of the
Lennon
Rosetta
had a
Stone.
vision of a flaming pie?
Yeah, like when John Lennon was falling asleep and he was like, had a dream, you be the Beatles. I had a dream, like, you must do She Bop in Spanish.
When do you get drunk on NyQuil and sing She Bop in Spanish?
Every Sunday night. I'm looking forward to listening to She Bop in Spanish. I love the song.
Without keyboards, because we got like Mad Therese,
Yeah.
got Crazy Heather Jones, we got Mad Megu.
Musically speaking, how is it different from the last record? How have you guys evolved? Is it more of the same Cheetah Horse madness and rock and
Yes,
roll?
of course. It's just we take it to the next level every time.
We're getting better and better in every way,
Is that
every
level-
day.
Is that level up or down?
Up.
And
down.
Looking down, I said up.
Like a roller coaster.
We
Like
like
an
to bring it to new
extraterrestrial
lows all
roller
the
coaster.
time.
We don't want to keep the expectation too high.
We love you guys.
Hey, Joe.
Give me the website again.
CheetahHorse.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for coming down. This is the Cheetah Horse leaving
Thank
here
you
with
very
Diet Bar
much,
Demigods.
Frankie.
Thanks, Frank.
On the
Thank you.
shakedown. Good night. Thank you.
We take a load off you and lift you up to Xanadu. Become a mirror try. There's no police work in paradise. And don't remember high school.
There's one that just
Separate the man from the fool. Before his righteous passes us by.
That one looks like it's got 4 strings. Let's catch the whole goddamn thing. That one looks like it's got fucking how many plumes on it? Fucking 4, 5, or 6.
Separate the woman
got 4 spoons. It's the whole goddamn thing. That one looks like it's got fucking how many plumes on it? It's like fucking 4, 5, or 6 of them. We're filming. Bob Monty here with Jonelle and the 6th man. Jonelle?
Underneath